Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Avis.
Good evening.
There you go. Hi, Avis. Come on, Avis. We'll make sure you heard me. Good evening.
Good evening.
There you go. Welcome to the Beech Grove Common Council for the City of Beech Grove. Today's date is July 1st, 2025. My name is James Kaufman. I will defer to the Clerk Treasurer.
In lieu of roll call, we'll introduce ourselves starting on my right.
Chris Duffer, Council at Large.
Dan McMillan, Council at Large.
Elizabeth Lamping, Council District 1.
Samantha Stratton, Clerk Treasurer.
Ryan Mackins, Council District 2.
Craig Wiley, City Attorney.
Mike McGarn, District 3.
Avis Friesen, Councilwoman District 4.
Mike Rennes, District 5.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Up next, I'll invite Josh up for the invocation. Josh?
Dear Lord Jesus, wait 1 second. Thank you, Mayor, and please bow your heads with me. And dear Lord Jesus, thank you for this beautiful day. Please, Lord, be with our community as we celebrate Independence Day this Saturday, Friday and Saturday, Lord. Be with our first responders and our police officers, Lord. Protect them and guide them. And Lord, please be with our council as they make decisions for the betterment of our community. Lord, please let them make glorious decisions to shine your light. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Josh. Up first, we have special presentations. We have two on the agenda this evening. Up first is Winnie Calloway, proclamation for her 100th birthday. Winnie, would you like to come up, please? Good to see you. Good.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We are so excited to celebrate you. When I saw you walk up on those steps, I said, look at this queen. I said, this is the way you bring a queen in the house. Yeah. Look at them heels, y'all. We just want to say from the council, you are somebody special. Today, we celebrate you. You make the world warmer, brighter, and a whole lot more wonderful. Gotta catch my breath. Dearest Miss Winnie, and we wish you joy of the richest, sweetest kind. You deserve nothing less. Happy birthday. I usually put $1 a year in here, but you went past my dollar.
I can't pay for pay a year. I told them, no bid.
Oh, well, we love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I appreciate it. So it's Winnie's birthday. She's going to be 100 this month, so I want to celebrate her. So I'd like to read a proclamation into the record proclaiming July 18, 2025 as Winifred Calloway Day in the city of Beech Grove. Whereas Winifred Winnie Calloway was born in Pueblo, Colorado on July 18, 1925, and whereas Winnie moved to Beech Grove in 1961 with her husband Marshall and their children Marcia, Rachel, and Mark, and whereas Winnie faithfully served as the pastor's wife generously gave of her time by teaching Sunday school classes to high school and college students, and nurtured the faith of young people by teaching religious education classes. And whereas Winnie is an avid reader and served for several years as a librarian in Muncie, Indiana, Winnie also enjoys walking and is known for her love of talking with people, both young and old, wherever she goes. Whereas Winnie Calloway has reached the remarkable milestone of celebrating her 100th birthday. Now therefore I, James W. Kaufman, do hereby proclaim the 18th day of July 2025 as Winifred Calloway Day in the city of Beech Grove, Indiana, and urge all citizens to offer their admiration, congratulations, and very best wishes to Winifred on her 100th birthday. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and cause to be affixed the seal of the city of Beech Grove, Indiana, on this first day of July 2025. Happy birthday, Cal. Happy birthday.
I want to say thank you, all of you. And my daughters just wondered if there was anyone in here that graduated with them from this school. And they graduated in 1967 and 1968. Does anybody qualify?
My father did.
Okay. Okay.
Can we get a picture real quick? You get a picture? Mine? Yeah, someone want to take a picture? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Avis, you want to come down and get a
Yes.
picture with us?
Okay.
Get Councilwoman Avis in here as well.
Okay.
Here's this proclamation for you, Wendy. You can take this home for you, okay?
Thank you.
Um,
Okay.
picture real quick.
Yeah. Okay, now we're dismissed, is that right?
After this, yes. Here. What we going?
Okay.
Turn around and get a picture real quick, okay?
We got paparazzis going on. Which one of y'all first? Okay, this way.
Over there now, Wendy. Happy birthday. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
District
Good to see
4,
you.
y'all.
Good.
She's cute.
Thank you, Wendy and family. We appreciate it. Well, that was fun. Thank you, counselors. I appreciate it. Avis, thank you. Up next, we have swearing in of Beech Grove Police Officer, Officer Kempton. Officer Kempton. We'll let them get hang back for a second. Avis, I know you mentioned her heels. Winnie has been coming to the shoe store on Main Street for years and years and years. I met her 14 or 15 years ago. She brings those heels and she wears them out. So she comes in and she brings them in. She'll bring stacks of them to get new heels on them.
Wow.
2 and 3 at a time. And she comes in there probably almost once every month or two to get new heels on her heels. So that's where I met her years ago. So
Beautiful. I don't think he heard you.
I don't think so either. They're
They
we'll wait just a
celebrate-
second, counselors.
No problem.
All right. Very good. All right, counselors. Up next, we have the swearing in of Beech Grove Police Officer, Officer Kempton. Sir, going to come on up. Chief. Hello, sir. Going to come up here. Say right below there, if you don't mind. All right, sir. You want to raise your right hand? You want to repeat after me, or say I do it? All right. I, Travis Kempton, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Indiana, and I will faithfully, impartially, and diligently discharge the duties as a police officer for the city of Beech Grove, according to law and to the best of my ability. I do. Congratulations, sir. Beech Grove grad? Beech Grove grad, right? All right. Born and raised in Beech Grove. Lives in Beech Grove. Was very excited about that. So, but yeah.
What
we're
year
excited to
graduate? 04. 04.
Young guy.
Yep. Make me walk to work right now. I seen you the other day walking, actually. Saturday, I believe.
Yeah. So we're very excited to
Welcome.
have him come on board. You know, exceptional officer, even, you know, added bonuses. He lives here right in the city of Beech Grove, so that's an added bonus there. So we're excited to have you, sir. So welcome. Thank you. All right. Up next, committee reports. RDC president emailed the report. They are working on proofreading the comprehensive plan document. They sent that over for your review. So there is nothing else to report for the RDC. Financial report. Clerk Treasurer Stratton.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The Indiana State Board of Accounts has completed their audit in office for the 2024 year. They are still completing their review off-site and plan to schedule an exit interview the week of July 14th. Spring property taxes. We received our spring property tax distributions last week. The Form 22s outlining these amounts have been attached to this report. Notably, the RDC received $538,136.36, taking their account balance to $2,083,122.41. We also received $97,968.06 in outstanding sewer liens. Sewer rate and citizens bill. The May citizens bill was on tonight's wastewater claims docket approved by the Board of Works. It came in close to what had been estimated, $275,887.02. In 2 months, we have spent over $500,000. I would like to reiterate a few items that were discussed last meeting about raising rates and the consequences if they are not raised at all. Since the last vote to raise sewer rates failed in 2022, the city has been covering a portion of every resident's water bill and each commercial account as well. Residents of the city have been paying a rate that has become significantly lower than what is owed to citizens for usage. For example, in surrounding areas where homeowners pay citizens directly, a family of 4 may be paying at least $75 a month for usage. A family of 4 with the same usage as a home outside of Beech Grove is also charged $75 a month. The difference is the Beech Grove home is only required to pay half of their bill with our current rates. The City of Beech Grove sewage utility covers the rest. As you can imagine, this number adds up over time. With citizens increasing their gallonage rate every year, the more we have eaten away at the fund. In 2022, when it was brought up by Councilor McMillan that there was $2 million in the fund, during the December 5th, 2022 council meeting where he was attending as a citizen, Mayor Kaufman, who was clerk treasurer at the time, warned that while there was $2 million currently in the fund, not raising rates would eat away at any surplus. In August of 2024, I alerted this council that there was a real possibility that the sewer fund would be in the negative in the next 12 months. 10 months later, that possibility has become a reality. Currently, the sewage utility fund is $205,845 in the negative. This number will become positive again after this month's due date on bills. However, after our next citizens bill, estimated at $200,000, we will be negative once again. With central Indiana getting record amounts of rain this year, our usage for July is looking to be much higher than that in 2024. With the raise in rate that is proposed in tonight's ordinance, I also want to make sure the council is aware that this is below what is suggested to help us break even by the end of the year. Any raise in rate will help the fund. However, I still have my concerns that this issue will be ongoing. The long-term consequences of not raising the sewer rates at all are not really that long-term at all. If we end the year in the negative, not only does the Department of Local Government Finance have the right not to approve our 2026 budget, but the IURC can also step in and take control of the utility. There are over a dozen people employed with the city that get paid from this fund. These people provide the essential services that I personally think puts Beech Grove steps above our surrounding communities. I respectfully urge the council to vote in favor of raising the sewer rates. Like all of you, I understand that the rising cost of living is a serious concern. The last thing we want to do is place an unnecessary burden on our residents, and that has never been our intention. However, the gap between what the city is being billed and what we are currently charging each month has grown too wide. That imbalance is no longer sustainable and is now placing a significant strain on the city's overall finances. The bank balances are listed below as of July 1st, 2025. These totals do not include all claims that were approved earlier this evening. City Corporation, $7,759,719.05. Utility, $916,748.67. Criminal Investigation Fund, $575,735.82. And RDC General Fund, $2,083,122.41. Respectfully submitted, Samantha Stratton, Clerk Treasurer.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the clerk treasurer? Thank you. Up next, we have minutes from our last meeting dated June 2nd, 2025. Any questions or comments? No questions or comments. Entertain a motion to approve the common council minutes dated June 2nd, 2025.
I make said motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Up next, public comment. I'll defer to the city attorney.
Yes, Pam Stallard.
My name's Pam Stallard. I live at 711 Churchman Beach Grove. I have several points I want to make here. Right now, in the beginning, I want to talk about the increase in the sewer bill. Once upon a time, I sat in the clerk treasurer's office looking at his computer, and by the time all of the bills were paid, we had plenty of money left over. We had lots of money left over. What happened? What has changed that all of a sudden we're in the negative? That's a very curious point. Why are we not considering charging by usage? We do monitor the sewer. All this is going to do is cause hardship for the people that actually spent the time building Beach Grove, the people that are now older and on limited incomes. Everybody sitting up here has a viable income. They either have jobs they're working at currently, or they have their Social Security. They also have pensions. They have part-time jobs. A lot of our elderly don't have that. This is going to really put pressure on them. I know you're talking only $16 over a period of 3 years. Everybody's raising everything. That is not correct.
No, I think it's more than that, actually.
Is it more than that?
$26.
Yeah, yeah,
26?
yeah, according to the ordinance, yeah.
Oh, that's a great deal more than I even thought. Thank you for that correction. So instead of increasing all the time, has anybody ever considered cutting spending instead of increasing constantly? How many police cars do we have sitting in a parking lot that are idle? They're fully equipped. They're just sitting there waiting for somebody to use them. Why are we spending all this money in case one of them has a blowout and we have a spare that they can use? That's a great deal of money we've got sitting there. I discovered the clerk treasurer has 4 full-time and 2 part-time assistants working in the office.
I have 3 full-time.
Those, excuse me?
I have 3 full-time.
Okay, 3 full-time and 2 part-time. Those jobs have been done by 2 full-time people in the past. Is there something wrong that all of a sudden we need 5 people?
The workload has gotten significantly bigger as the years continue.
I can't hear anything you're saying,
The
but that's
workload out of that office has continually gotten more and more, and those people shouldn't have only had 2 full-time people. The job of the clerk treasurer, honestly, can take as many people as it needs, because we're handling money and handling residents and handling all of their well-being with their trash pickup and the other things. So that's why we have that many people, to make sure things stay accurate and we're not rushed and fewer mistakes are made.
So we have that many citizens coming into the office.
Yes, we do. You're welcome to come around due date on the 15th.
Pretty incredible. I've never seen a clerk treasurer have that many people assisting them. Sewer funds need to be more accountable. It's like, where is the money going? Now, I know there are 14 salaries coming out of the sewer fund. Some of that money goes to the clerk treasurer's salary and some of it goes to the mayor's salary. Why is that not coming out of the general fund but coming out of the sewer bill that the people are writing their checks for, believing it's going to their sewer services?
I am a sewer service. Just
Who are these
so you
other
know.
12, pardon me?
I am a sewer service. I'm the clerk of the sewage utility. So that's the reasoning in the past why they've split it between general and sewer, because I do things for the general fund, like the council and everything. I'm the clerk of a bunch of things. And then I'm also the clerk of the trash utility. So that's why that's split, and that's why that's allowed to be split.
What does the mayor have to do with the sewer?
I mean,
Okay.
he's the mayor.
Never mind.
He has to do with everything.
Never mind. It
Pam,
just
can you
needs
wrap it
to
up?
come
You're
out
getting
of the...
way past 3 minutes, please.
Okay. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks, Pam.
Rose Webb?
My name is Rose Webb. I live at 306 North 15th Avenue. And I would like to know what steps need to be taken to have a house shut down and declared as a public nuisance. There have been many police calls there. I have over 150 pictures of drug dealings going on, gun sales. They were cooking meth. That's a wonderful smell, let me tell you. They now have a very elderly man living in there with his dog through all this heat. The front door was bashed in over the weekend, glass everywhere. The door has now got a blanket over it, and it is barricaded with a love seat type of thing. He's gonna be found dead in there one day.
Well, those are Marion County Health Department issues. Does Kathy
We have
Chappell,
called them.
has Kathy, our current district compliance officer, I'm sure she's good at making reports and stuff.
Kathy quit.
I'd be happy, if you want to give me the address, I'll make sure I can follow up with the Marion County Health Department, make sure that it's been sent over to them.
314 North 15th Avenue. I can't even tell you how many times the police have been there in the last 2 months.
Yeah, that's definitely a health department issue, and they should, we should be able to contact them through
We've
compliance.
made reports. I've even called Adult Protection Services.
I've gotten complaints on that residence also, and I believe they were using solar lights for the lighting inside.
No, they hooked
this.
up a generator.
Okay, they've got a generator.
Yeah,
now.
because the electric company turned the power off.
Right.
They stole the electrical connection wires out of the Nancy McClellan's brand new air conditioner, stuck a screwdriver in it for the conductor. Someone took a picture, sent it to the light company. They came out and took the whole power box off the house.
Because you can't pirate, yeah.
There's no power, there's no gas, there's no water. I've contacted the owner. She says that the people there are squatters. No, they're not. She knows exactly what's going on.
Can we get a report from the police department on what's been done over there?
If you
possibly?
get a hold of Matt Bragg, you can.
What was the address again, Rose?
314 North 15th.
And ma'am, you've seen like actual weapons and drugs coming out of there?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just, for my understanding.
Yeah, because that's
any of my pictures you want, I'll give them. Cause it's gotten old. There was a drug dealer's girlfriend there today, and she went into the house and took out 3 carloads of things. Those things didn't belong to her.
I mean, these certainly sound like policing issues.
Right.
And
They say that they can't do anything because the homeowner's not on scene.
Do you know where the homeowner resides or lives?
Supposedly she's in Florida working. But like, supposedly.
Gotcha.
She hasn't been there in over 6 weeks. She was there for 3 days and took off again.
do you know if she owns a mortgage, or is it an LLC? Okay, so her name's on
Yeah,
it.
her name is Brittany Woods.
You said Woods?
Mm-hmm.
We'll follow up if, and if I can get your phone number, I can talk with the police chief and we'll, follow up with this with the health department again, get any information. We can pull up the sewer account and see where the stormwater bills are being sent to. If the water was in fact turned off, she won't have the sewer bill, but she still have the stormwater bill.
So has compliance been there? Our compliance officers, have they been there for calls?
I get it.
So, so could we possibly see those documents in their documentation from compliance?
I know Phil Davis has made many reports
Yeah.
about them.
Rosemary?
So that should be public for us to
Rosemary
be able to see any documentation that compliance makes about those calls, correct?
I would think so, I'd have to talk to the police chief about it and see, that's her account. That's,
Rose, thank you so much for looking out.
I appreciate your.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you.
Okay. We have made arrests out of there as soon as we got the complaints from Ms. Webb. The Metro Drug Task Force sat off of it and made their arrests out of there. Okay, so we are doing stuff. Now, as Ms. Webb told you, she has the detective's direct work phone number. And she texts him every day with pictures and complaints, and he follows up with that. Some of it is police related, some of it is just people living there, and some of it is not police matters. And so yes, it is being handled. And yes, we have sat off of it. Yes, they've made arrests. Yes, they've pulled guns out of it. We're aware of it. It is being done. But when people own their homes, they don't have to have a front door if they don't want to have a front door. They can run their house off of generators if they want. They can run their house off of solar panels. It doesn't matter. They can run off a windmill. You don't have to be hooked up to a power company. So there's some things that's not police related. But it is being looked into. We are well aware of it. And so it is being handled. It's not an instant process where we can kick you out of your house. That's not how that works. And we can't shut your house down just like that. And so when when Mark Grimm just heard it, he brought up the website and he's filing the complaint right now for her to make sure it has been filed.
Good.
All right.
It is being handled. It may not be at the speed that you want or that she wants, but it is being handled. And we have to filter through the complaints that she does.
So the individuals arrested, chief, are they renters or are they squatters? Do we know?
At that time, it was who she's complaining about and her boyfriend or whatever. That's who we arrested. And yes, he was found to have guns and drugs. Now, was he dealing? It's hard to make that case in Marion County anymore, right? But he was arrested for that. But I'm not sure he was charged with that at the prosecutor's office. It's the other thing that people forget is that we can say what we want filed, but the prosecutor has final determination. So you have two departments, the Marion County Drug Task Force and Beechwood Police Department looking at that. So he's transported to CJC then? You don't happen to know if he was OR'd or if he had bail?
Do not believe he was OR'd at this time. Last I knew, he was still there.
Thank you.
In fact, I talked to Detective Bragg about it yesterday when he came in the office.
Well, I mean, I know we have ordinances that compliance can look at for specific, well, maybe we need to make some changes on our ordinance that you need to have a front door. I'm just,
Yeah.
Maybe we could take a spare police car and just sit right there in front of him, maybe kind of keep people from wanting to come over there.
We could do that.
Hey, Chief, on another note, that we've been getting emails from a resident on 4th Street about kids on mini bikes running up and down, da-da-da. I get them as well, and I know it's not my district or nothing like that, but he just seems to be, again, you know, not moving at the speed of light or whatever that he might want it to be done, but just some kind of information on, or anything on it, or
We're aware of it. And
Okay,
it's-
okay. I know
Some of
it's-
them
it's not easy.
have helmets, and so that's not breaking the law.
Right.
And she is, I think it's become personal with them, and so even the hand gestures are just
Yeah,
waving.
because that's what I've been getting,
It's not-
pictures of the hand gestures and things.
And so some of it is her yelling at them and causing that, I understand, and so some of it is us. Sometimes we can go find them.
Right.
Sometimes we can't. Sometimes we have time to sit there, sometimes we don't.
Understood, understood.
But yes, we are aware of it,
Okay.
but yes. I mean, I don't address every complaint back because what happens to people when they respond, sometimes that person comes back at
Sure.
councilman.
You would,
Right.
yeah, you'd be being
Yep.
Came back at him, and so it's just not worth to keep that
Sure.
bickering, and so what I just send it out to the
Absolutely.
road. I send a email out, say, hey,
Keep an eye out.
go this way, look, so.
Good enough. That'd work.
And
I
so the
mean,
council,
another story, let's do a story. So it came out a month ago, right when we sent out the public service notice, hey, you can't ride scooters, these are the laws, right? 2 of our officers catch one on Main Street, goes northbound on 7th, takes off. They're not gonna chase a scooter. They follow behind, they put it out on the radio. IMPD picks it up at Sherman and Raymond. He continues northbound, dies at Prospect and Sherman, Prospect and Sherman, the scooter dies.
The scooter does.
Gets out.
Oh,
the officer-
No, not the person, Avis.
The IMPD officer gets out. Our officers are closing in as well because she's got it stopped, gives the commands, the kid refuses. Now the officer and the scooter rider are in a fight. The IMPD officer gets hurt, taser, all of this for the kid riding a scooter outside the city. And so you had an officer hurt, and then, so they're aware of it. But we don't talk about the stuff that we do most of the time, right? And so they are doing it, but if that 17-year-old that they chased crashes that scooter, even though we're not chasing it, who's it come back on?
Sure, yeah.
And so now the liability, so how do we handle it? We try to find it, where do they
Yeah, your
live,
hands are tied
the
on it.
owner, because we're trying to weigh the risk with the reward, return on investment.
Understood.
For sure.
That's where we are.
and so council knows, I have also emailed back to her quite a few times concerning this, and I just yesterday called mayor about it, and we had the same discussion about the same ongoing issue, so. And we do have quite a few of them running around the city here.
And what's weird is it's been going on for the 25 years that I've been a police officer. It's the same complaints, right? Speeding, parking, scooters. And then, but what I don't hear about is when our officers, like Thursday night, when it made the news that we had a chase of a stolen vehicle and we caught all 3 of them, foot pursuits. They had weapons in the car, Glock switches. They had warrants for their arrest from previous robberies that our officers picked up on. Saturday, someone driving up Emerson stops one of our officers headed home because it's shift change. And that vehicle's pointing firearms at our guys, or at
other cars. He sees it, chases on, out Thompson, he pits it. Oh, well, first, the one guy jumps out, right at Jordan's Chicken, takes off, they catch him, he's got warrants for possession of machine guns. The driver takes off down Thompson. Our officer, who's an absolute professional, pits it on the other side of 5 Points. Big crash, he gets out, runs. Guns in the car, machine guns in the car. And that's what they're doing. And you don't hear me talk about it. I haven't talked in 18 months up here for certain reasons, right? I don't get up here because I'm not going to go back and forth about why we have pool cars. Because then I have to get into the fact that we had people on light duty and we have to have a couple spares because you have to. And so we have to have a EVOC car now because they don't provide the EVOC car, so you have to provide an EVOC car. So we have our oldest car sitting over there to take the EVOC when we send somebody to training. And you have to have a backup for when they crash. Because yeah, we have crashes because we still chase people or accidents just happen. So you have to have a few back. I'm not going to get up here and address every complaint that we have. But you should know that we're out there handling our business and that they're handling it professionally and they're doing the best that they can with what they have and they're providing a service to the citizens of Beechville. They are doing it.
Absolutely.
So,
And with all that said, absolutely, but let's get back to, Rose, that issue obviously is causing a great deal of strain on the community and everyone in that neighborhood, and just for you to recognize that is appreciated. So,
we
just,
know about it and
that's,
they are doing it.
but to live in that, to live around every day in that situation and knowing that the potential for that just to become a real terrorizing that community. So I just
And we are aware of it.
think we need to really focus and take that seriously for her
And
and that
for
area.
that one
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
20 more that we're dealing with,
Yeah.
and there's only 4 people working on a shift at a time. So if there's 20 complaints and there's 4 officers, the resources can only be spread out so much. But we are getting to it.
And I think, Chief, that most of us up here understand that, and that's why you don't get emails from us continually about these ongoing things.
And I understand where you're coming from too.
Then this way. So we are working on it, and
She
Matt
has a
Bragg
statement for you,
has been
Chief.
working on it as well.
Rose
I
had.
understand where you're coming from too, because my husband has been on 55 years. And every day you go to work, you come home, that's your worst day. No, it ain't, because you go back to work the next day and you have your next worst day. I know your pain. It is a never-ending cycle.
Thank you,
And our
Chief.
Marion County
Thank you.
prosecutor does not
Thank you.
help.
Thanks. Thank you.
Great. Now that's it.
Thank you, Rose. We appreciate it. We'll be in contact if you want to call me and give me those phone numbers. We'll talk to the next process. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. No more public comment this evening. Anybody else wanted to speak this evening that did not sign up? Let's see. Thank you. Unfinished business. We have previous business carried from our last meeting. General Ordinance Number 2, 2025, Main Street parking is up for second reading this evening. I will defer to the clerk treasurer.
Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, General Ordinance Number 2, 2025. General Ordinance Number 2, 2025 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning parking schedules. Whereas Main Street was redeveloped in 2012 and continues to evolve and attract new businesses, and whereas parking on Main Street and surrounding thoroughfares has increased, and whereas Main Street patrons often stay on Main Street longer than the 2-hour limit, whereas several businesses have requested that the 2-hour parking restrictions be removed, now therefore it be affirmed the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances concerning parking schedules. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires to make the following amendment for Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Beech Grove. Remove Schedule 2 in its entirety. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to remove the 2-hour parking rules on Main Street and no other streets. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances and no other ordinance. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect 30 days after passage by the Common Council, signed by the Council President Pro Tem, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor.
Real quick, has anybody seen any keys back there anywhere? Can we look around, make sure there's no keys sitting around your chairs?
It's a key fob.
A key fob?
I have looked literally everywhere, and I think it's just poof, disappeared. Yeah, I did 3 times. I even went through the trash. Oh.
Bathrooms, check the bathrooms. Yeah, can't find her key fob anywhere.
Oh dear, that's awful.
Okay, I appreciate,
Did,
sorry.
no, no, you're fine. You're fine. It's okay. Hope you find it.
Yeah, I know, except for if we find it.
Okay. Thank you, Clerk Treasurer Stratton. I appreciate it. So, General Ordinance Number 2, 2025, Main Street parking is up for second reading this evening. Any questions or comments?
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why are we doing only reading number 2?
We can do third reading if you would like. I just wasn't sure if you guys wanted to do third reading or not. So, it's up to you. We can hear it on third reading if you like tonight. That's fine.
We'll get it
Okay.
over with.
So it's up for approval on second reading first.
I'll make said motion to approve on second reading.
I second the motion.
All those in favor of approving General Ordinance Number 2, 2025 on second reading?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to hear General Ordinance Number 2, 2025, Main Street parking on third and final reading. I will defer to the Clerk Treasurer to read it into the record.
General Ordinance Number 2, 2025 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning parking schedules. Whereas Main Street was redeveloped in 2012 and continues to evolve and attract new businesses, and whereas parking on Main Street and surrounding thoroughfares has increased, and whereas Main Street patrons often stay on Main Street longer than the 2-hour limit, and whereas several businesses have requested that the 2-hour parking restrictions be removed. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances concerning parking schedules. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires to make the following amendment for Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Remove Schedule 2 in its entirety. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to remove the 2-hour parking rules on Main Street and no other streets. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to Chapter 78 of the Code of Ordinances and no other ordinance. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect 30 days after passage by the Common Council, signed by the Council President Pro Tem, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? General Ordinance Number 2, 2025 is up for third and final reading. Motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve on third and final reading.
I'll second that motion.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. Do you have a signature?
I do,
sheet?
actually.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Clerk Treasurer Stratton will hand along a signature sheet for you. Before we get to new business, did you have something else you needed to do, Samantha?
On the minutes, I just noticed an error
Okay.
that I need to point out. I switched first reading and second reading on page 3 on the very top, so I will correct that before
Okay.
they get submitted.
So on your minutes, there was a small correction on that. If that's
Yep.
okay with you all. She'll go ahead and amend that as approved tonight.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
It'll be pretty.
Up next, we have new business.
Do we need to make a,
Maybe
Oh.
let me do that. Are you done with that? And then we'll move on to that.
Yes, in 2
Sign that, and
seconds.
maybe we'll do an official motion to.
Thank you.
All right. So as mentioned, so you got your minutes. You had what part was it?
It's on page 3, and
Page-
I just didn't change something. It is for General Ordinance Number 2, 2025. It's first reading there, and in the second line, I put second reading, so I need to change that to first. And I need to change the word ordinance to resolution on the mitigation plan. Clerk Treasurer Stratton read the ordinance in the record. That will change to resolution there, and then the following sentence. That's my fault.
And then yeah, so the resolution would change to Councilor Ernest made a motion to approve the resolution, comma. because I think the.
Yeah, that second sentence.
Yeah. Resolution, comma, seconded by Councilor Matkinson, approved unanimously. Motion to approve the minutes for June 2nd as amended by the clerk treasurer.
I'll make
said
that.
motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. Thank you, clerk treasurer. All right, up next, we have resolution number 2, 2025. Council, this is regarding the medical arts property over there at 17th and Albany. As you're aware, the RDC decided to remove that from a TIF zone a few years ago. As a TIF zone works, once the value of these properties continue to decrease, ends up being a negative balance on the rest of the TIF zones and actually pulls down the revenues that are received into the TIF zone or to the RDC. So that being said, working with Jeff Peters and the RDC a couple years ago, they removed, and the city council removed that from the TIF zone. Now we're to the point where it has been purchased by a developer, and they are looking to turn that into a mixed-use development. That being said, the RDC would like to capture all of the increased assessed value of that property by placing it back into a TIF zone. So they've done the first step was to approve it via the RDC. Next, it comes to the Beech Grove City Council to approve their resolution and their own resolution. And then once and if this is approved, it'll go back to the RDC for final approval, send over to the DLGF, place in a TIF zone, and then all the incremental financing, all the incremental assessed value will remain with the Beech Grove RDC and not be dispersed elsewhere. So, before any questions, I'll defer to the clerk treasurer to read resolution number 2, 2025 into the record.
Resolution of the City of Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission approving amendments to the declaratory resolution and redevelopment plan and establishing a new allocation area. Whereas the City of Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission, as the governing body for the City of Beech Grove Redevelopment Department pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-1415 as amended, adopted resolution number 1, 2005, designating an area known as the City of Beech Grove Integrated Redevelopment Area as a redevelopment area pursuant to sections 15, 16, and 17 of the Act, and designating all of such redevelopment area as an allocation area pursuant to section 39 of the Act. Whereas the Commission has been made aware of certain commercial development plan for that part of the City of Beech Grove located at and around 110 North 17th Avenue, parcel number 491020 151.027.00-102, otherwise referred to as the North 17th Avenue parcel. And whereas the North 17th Avenue parcel does not currently generate any tax increment revenue, whereas the North 17th Avenue parcel and nearby parcels currently suffer due to lack of industry, development, and employment, and whereas the Commission has thoroughly studied the North 17th Avenue parcel and nearby parcels, and whereas the Commission believes that in order to capture the most beneficial share of tax increment, which will A, facilitate the use of tax increment to the benefit of the North 17th Avenue parcel and nearby parcels, and B, best serve the interests of the citizens of the City of Beech Grove, the North 17th Avenue parcel should be designated as a separate allocation area under the Act. And whereas the Commission believes that the development of the North 17th Avenue parcel will result in significant economic development, significant increase in taxable property values and revenues, and an increase in employment opportunities for the citizens of the City of Beech Grove. And whereas pursuant to sections 15 through 17.5 of the Act, the Commission desires to amend the plan as follows. 1, to establish a new allocation area with Section 39 of the Act called the Beech Grove North 17th Avenue Allocation Area, consisting of the North 17th Avenue parcel. And whereas the amendment has been presented at a I'm sorry. I am.
I think so, something.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not clear.
Yeah.
Are you reading the attachment?
Yeah, resolution. No, I'm not.
So you're reading the Exhibit A.
I am reading the Exhibit A. Sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
Yes, it's in
That's
the
my
minutes,
bad.
or it's in the packet.
I just read more than I had to.
I'm like,
City of Beech Grove.
I'm sorry.
okay.
I saw
No, no, no.
resolution number 2 and
It's
ran
okay.
with it. Okay, we'll try that again. This one's only one page, so. A resolution of the Common Council of the City of Beech Grove, Indiana, approving Redevelopment Commission Resolution Number 2025-2 as consistent with the plan of development for the city. Whereas the pursuant to Indiana Code 36-714, the City of Beech Grove Redevelopment Commission adopted on August 31st, 2005, Resolution Number 1, 2005, creating the Beech Grove Integrated Redevelopment Area and adopted a redevelopment plan for the redevelopment area. And whereas on March 6, 2008, the Commission amended Resolution 1, 2005 through the adoption of Resolution 1, 2008, which expanded the redevelopment area and modified the plan. And whereas Resolution 1, 2008 confirmed that the Common Council of the City of Beech Grove, Indiana found the amendments to the redevelopment area and plan to be consistent with the plan and/or the comprehensive development plan for the City of Beech Grove by Common Council Resolution Number 3, 2008. And whereas the Commission adopted on April 17, 2025, Declaratory Resolution Number 2025-2, attached here to as Exhibit A, amending Resolution 1, 2008, and the plan by creating the North 17th Avenue allocation area. And whereas a redevelopment commission of an excluded city, as described in Section 1B of the Act, the commission was not required to submit the declaratory resolution and supporting data to the Plan Commission as described in Section 16 of the Act, and whereas Section 16D of the Act requires the Common Council to approve the declaratory resolution and plan as amended as consistent with the plan of development for the City of Beech Grove. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Beech Grove, Indiana as follows. 1, the Common Council finds that the declaratory resolution and plan as amended conforms to the plan of development for the City of Beech Grove. The action of the Commission on April 17, 2025, as described in the declaratory resolution is in all respects approved, ratified, and confirmed by the Common Council. And 3, this resolution shall be effective upon the date of passage by the City Council, signed by the President Pro Tem, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor of the City of Beech Grove, Indiana.
Thank you. And as you see, the Exhibit A is the resolution that was passed by the RDC, which was where the Clerk Treasurer started.
Yeah, I read almost all of it.
A lot
so-
longer. So, any questions or comments about this, Council? None seen. Motion to approve City of Beech Grove Resolution Number 2, 2025, regarding the TIF zone addition for the 17th Avenue property.
I make said motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
I do not have a second signature sheet. Okay.
While that's passed around, I'll go ahead and get started. Up next, we have General Ordinance Number 3, 2025, which is regarding sewer rates, up for first reading. Before we get started, there's a lot of information that I'd like to share with you all today. Give a little background of how we got here this evening, and a lot of information to go over. So, as you're all aware, I offered to meet with the councilors over the last few days regarding the proposed increases and the ordinances that are being presented this evening. However, only 2 council members took me up on that offer. Therefore, I'd like to go over all that information with each of you this evening and for the public to hear it as well. As mentioned in the last 2 months, the sewer fund is nearly depleted, mostly due to the substantial increases from Citizens Energy Group to treat the wastewater. The IURC, the Indiana Utilities Regulatory Commission, has approved increases to Citizens Energy Group through 2029. A little bit of history about the Beech Grove Sewer Utility. In 2017 and 18, Mayor Buckley approached the council with the option of selling the sewer utility. The council denied that request by a vote of 4-3, knowing that the next option would have to be to raise sewer rates, which they did. At this time, the rate charged from Citizens Energy Group was 97 cents per 1,000 units of wastewater treated. There were also concerns about the quote-unquote lack of maintenance of the sewer utility. Since then, the city has averaged more than $500,000 a year in planned projects, improvements, and maintenance. I handed out an agreement earlier that was from 2017. Each of the council members have that. It was the contract with Citizens Energy Group that the city council approved with rates through 2029. And I think on the third page it shows the fixed rates through 2025 with proportional increases through 2029. In order to protect the utility asset for the city, the council has a responsibility to adjust rates as the cost from Citizens Energy increases. Fast forward in 2022, Mayor Buckley presented the council with an ordinance to increase the sewer rates, when the rate from Citizens Energy was $1.70 per 1,000 units. At this time, the sewer fund had approximately $1.4 million in the operating fund. The ordinance would have taken the sewer from $37 a month and stair-stepped over 3 years to land at $46.75 as of February 2025. As you know, this ordinance failed. 2025, the sewer rate remains at $37, yet the rate charged by Citizens Energy has risen to $2.48 per 1,000 units of water treated, as agreed to by the 2017 City Council. Today, the sewer operating fund has a negative balance. In 2026, the rate from citizens will go from $2.48 up to $2.67 per 1,000 units of water treated. What will happen if the rates do not increase? That remains to be seen, but the quality of life services and essential services we have all come to appreciate and enjoy will be affected. In Beech Grove, our employees take pride in our city. As residents, we take pride in our properties. Our DPW employees are incredible and go above and beyond for our residents. There have been questions about the sewer fund and the money spent from it. Some have even called it a slush fund. The sewer fund pays the salaries of 10 full-time DPW employees, 2 full-time billing clerks, 2 part-time employees, along with half the salary of the mayor and the clerk treasurer. I'm not sure when that started, but that's been in effect for years and years and years. I'm not sure if anybody knows when that started, but maybe from the start of the utility, I'm not sure. But it's always been divided for those two salaries regarding the mayor and the clerk treasurer. Just last year and in years prior, the city council has approved pay increases for these employees during budget time. Clerk Treasurer Stratton provided a summary of all expenses paid out of the utility in May, and to my knowledge, there were no concerns raised. Expenses paid are for operating expenses, employees, Covanta fees, and with the majority of the expenses going to Citizens Energy. That being said, our DPW employees provide essential and quality of life services that go beyond sewer and trash. The City of Beech Grove currently offers brush and leaf pickup, heavy trash pickup, citywide recycling. They hang flags and banners throughout our city. They assist our Parks Department in maintaining city property, landscaping, and grass. They fill potholes. In the wintertime, when the trash routes are completed, several of our DPW and sewer employees hop in a snowplow or salt truck. They deliver barricades and totes for events in our city, and they return to clean up. There are an additional 6 DPW employees that are paid out of the MVH fund. These are all the small city perks that we have all come to appreciate, and these are included in our monthly bill. There are other things that our employees do on a daily basis that may not be realized or even seen by others, but they're appreciated by the homeowner. I cannot do them justice for all that they do, and that is what sets us apart from other municipalities. The sewer utility is an asset, and it's the elected officials' job to manage it appropriately. Utility companies are raising rates across the board, and we have no control over that. Nor do they even ask us for our opinions, they just do it. What we do have control over is managing our sewer utility as an asset the way it should be. If the city does not manage this asset, I fear what the next year or two will bring. The city has agreed to increase employee salaries and services over the last few years, while the IURC continues to increase the rate that Citizens Energy charges us. I know we sound like a broken record here, but these rates have continually increased. In 2026, the IURC already approved that the Citizens Energy Group will charge us, again, $2.67, leading to the approved rate in 2029. At this point, the approved budget in 2029 will be more than triple what Citizens Energy Group charged the City of Beech Grove in 2019. All these increases year after year, yet the City of Beech Grove has not increased the amount of money coming in. It was only a matter of time before something had to give, and that time is now. And I get it, no one wants to increase rates. However, we're all elected to represent the City of Beech Grove, and that means making difficult decisions. The utility cannot continue to function. We can't pay invoices, won't be able to pay employees without the additional revenue coming in. Over the last 4 years, we have been proactive with large sewer rehab projects. But being proactive with projects and improvements is no longer possible. There are no current sewer projects planned for the unforeseeable future, as the current revenue stream will not sustain any type of financial commitment. The sewer utility now operates on a reactive basis. And to be totally honest with you, that scares me. We're not sure. I mean, not being able to plan or have funds available for anything that might happen with the sewer utility is very scary to me. In May, we heard from Western engineers who presented on the current state of both the sewer and the stormwater utilities. In June, financial consultant Jeff Peters presented the financial status of both utilities, and it was not good. The sewer operating fund is near bankruptcy and now operates on a month-to-month basis. For reference, I gathered sewer bills from people who live outside of Beech Grove. Citizens Energy's minimum monthly charge is $47.29 per month. A family of 3 in Franklin Township pays $73.33 a month for sewer alone. A family of 2 in Decatur Township pays $63.16 for sewer. In Johnson County, the minimum charge is $49.30. A family in Beech Grove currently pays $37. I handed out a rate comparison to you earlier that Jeff Peters provided last month for your reference. The ordinance being presented tonight raises the sewer to $46.75 later this year, which is where the rates would have been had the city managed this asset correctly and adjusted the rates on a regular basis. The rates presented tonight will be stair-stepped to $62.75 per month, starting in January of 2028. The commercial sewer rate will also increase at similar percentages as the residential. In May, a large apartment complex, who paid approximately $18,000 in sewer fees, with the rates proposed this evening, they will pay more than $21,000 for that same amount of treatment. This applies to all commercial, schools, nonprofits, and government sewer accounts. This information and data has been presented and is now up to the City Council on how we proceed. These discussions have been taking place for years, and I'm afraid that now is our last chance. That being said, I can defer to the Clerk Treasurer to read it into the record on first reading, or if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer first, I'd be happy to do either one.
Yes, I have a couple questions, because I've been sitting on this council now for several years. I know previously, when you were clerk treasurer and the Mayor Buckley, for lack of a better word, had expressed definite plans to wean the employee, the salaries off of this budget. And I thought that was, I kind of understood, I thought that was being done. So
The employees or the pilot payment and ROI?
the employees' wages were being weaned off of. Now, and do other cities and towns, do they have employee salaries from that as well?
They
Okay.
do. So,
They do.
so the
Okay.
trash and the sewer. So they're funding government activities like whether it be the clerk treasurer's office, public safety, EMS, the parks, community center, senior center, from property taxes, our largest revenue stream. That's what the government money is being paid for those services. We don't have to offer sewer and trash pickup. We don't. We offer it because I think we provide a better service. Our residents deserve a better service, and our employees provide that service. So paying for those employees out of those specific funds, I think that's where they should be paid out
Okay.
of. So what we've done in the last few years was decrease the pilot payment.
Okay.
It was $706,000 when I took office as clerk treasurer in 2020, and this year it's down to $406,000.
The ROI.
ROI, I'm sorry. ROI, $406,000. That's what we take from the sewer to the general
Okay,
fund.
okay.
So that's been
That's
decreased,
been-
but not
okay.
the employees, to my knowledge. I don't remember that
I was thinking
discussion.
they were
So,
gonna shift, I thought there was conversation that those salaries were gonna be shifted away from this. Okay, okay. And then also, we had talked previously in the year, what about the wheel tax? Where are we at the wheel tax? Are we gonna have this conversation today, and then are we gonna come back and say we're gonna ask for a $50 on every registered vehicle in Beech Grove for the wheel tax?
So
Is that
that's,
coming?
that's going to be up to the council. So they just passed that. I think it has to be
Right.
implemented by 2028.
So, but that's
they,
your plan, is to
Well,
ask
I-
for this today and then ask for wheel tax later, $50 on every registered
It'd be,
vehicle?
I think it's 25 per vehicle.
Well, I
but-
think the conversation was you can max it to $50, and that's kind of
thought-
where the conversation
Okay,
was.
wait,
Yeah.
So let me talk. So the plan, so based on the state legislature, they changed the rules. They said if you want to receive community crossing grant money from the state of Indiana, you have to implement your own wheel tax. So currently I think we got $400,000 recently for the next round of paving project. So they're saying in order for you to get this $400,000, you have to implement a wheel tax. So will the council like to not get that $400,000 for paving money and not implement a wheel tax, or to get a wheel tax, then you're allowed to get that money from the state? So we'll have to have that conversation, but that won't have to be implemented until 2028.
Right, but just so the public listening to this meeting tonight will know that there will be conversation from you and the council
Yeah.
on implementing a wheel tax for the exact reasons, and it could be maxed at $50 for every
I thought it was
registered.
25.
Okay.
I think it may be 25 for,
Okay.
since we have two cities, I think it
Okay.
might be 29,
Okay.
5 for Indianapolis, and
Okay.
25
Yeah,
for us.
yeah, it was
So
my
I'll
understanding
have to go
25.
back and look at my notes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for answering those questions.
No, and like I said, and that makes it hard. The legislator, they're doing these favors for people and decreasing property taxes, but they're putting it back on the local governments to decide. Okay, whether it be local income tax or wheel tax, that's what they're putting back on us to decide. So, in order to get this other free money that we all pay for, federal money for, into this fund, they're saying, okay, in order to get that money, you have to also charge this money, which baffles my mind. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in, and they're going to hang that over our heads to decide to go forward. So.
I will just piggyback off of that. I would encourage you guys to look, I know Mr. Copenhaver has, I get his emails from the RDC about the new SB1. I would look into SB1 because it's, we'll talk about it later in the year because we're still kind of figuring out what the long-term implications of that are, but overall, it's not great. So I would encourage you all to do some research, and if you don't like what you see, contact our House and State representatives. So,
And that's SB 1?
yes.
Senate bill, yeah.
So that won't be fully implemented until 2028. So we're hopeful that during the next legislative session, they can make some corrections and some changes to hopefully help municipalities across the state. Yes, ma'am.
I understand that you're saying that the minimum is a certain amount, and I'm not sure if I missed it or not, but do we have a maximum that we would have to pay if we make this decision to, it sounds like a no-brainer that we need to make this decision. However, do we have any security of the maximum? Because, I mean, I'm dealing with AES right
I
now,
know.
and my bill was $200 and something a couple of months ago. It went up to $1,100, and yeah, I'm about to call Rafael Sanchez. So, yeah, and I'm just wondering, is there a maximum that we can?
So are you talking about per resident?
Yes.
So right now, the IRC says Citizens is maxed out in 2029. I think it's either $3.19 or so per unit of wastewater cost. Okay, so right now it's $2.48. Next year is $2.67, and then by 2029 it's going to be up to $3.19 per unit. Will they approve increases from there? Probably. I'm sure Citizens will be asking them at some point to approve increases past 2029. They just have not yet. For residents-wise, so we were working with the clerk treasurer. We came up with these numbers to get us through 2028. This is a starting point. If there's other numbers that you want to go to, if you want to change the stair stepping, that's up to the council tonight. We're just saying for now that's going to stop there, and we're going to have to address this for a few years. Will it be over in 2028, 2029? I doubt it. The way that things continue to go up and the way that these utilities are charging us, my guess is we'll still have to continue to raise it. That's where it becomes in better managing. If they're stair stepped in, you don't have to do large increases. If you do $2 or $3 or $4 every year or two, you won't have to do these $10 and $20 increases.
So I remember clearly that previous council persons that we did say that we felt that there definitely could be a need for these increases. And I appreciate the fact that you brought up that number that where we would have been in 2025. I'm willing to work with that on 1 year only basis. And it bothers me somewhat that we've got an election year coming up and we're going to vote on implementing these increases. And I think the citizens, they should hold us accountable in an election year. So I think going year by year, you be a major case, and I clearly agree with you that we need to raise these rates. But I strongly believe we should just do it on a year-to-year basis.
Can I just respond to that? I understand that concern. If you all decide to go that direction, 2026, we have to be paying more than $46.75. So I don't know if you want to include, since we're almost, by the time this will get implemented, if you approve on first reading tonight, second and third next meeting, the first time this will go into effect is going to be October 15th. So we only have, at the earliest, it could be later, depending on when the meeting falls and requirements, but that's only 3 payments for this year that would be higher. And my concern is if we stay at $46.75 all the way through 2026, I'm going to be a broken record again and saying in the next 12 months, this is going to be negative again, because like the mayor said, and a reminder to the rain, we just keep getting rain. Every time it rains, I want to shake my fist at the sky. But we also, every sewage utility is going to have fixes that it needs. I don't think we're going to be lucky enough to go from right now until December 2026 with no repairs needed on the utility. So that's just something to think about.
Okay. Then how did you come up with that $10 jump then? What
That's
was it?
based on
Okay.
our estimates of how much Citizens is going to be
Okay.
charging,
Okay.
the increase there.
Samantha, I have a question.
Yes.
So, from time to time, we'll have a major event. We'll have a sewer collapse. We've had issues on Emerson Avenue. We had the one recently on 13th Street. So today, let's say this evening, we have a major event. Where's the money going to come from to fix it? Something that's going to cost $100,000
Right. I mean, we have we have money in our bank account, but we don't have money in the fund. I'm not allowed to spend money in the fund if it's negative. Let's say something did collapse tonight, the council would have to make a decision on if you want to do an additional appropriation, if you want to take out a bond. I personally don't want to take out a bond. It's great not to have them. So that's what you would be looking at, is it's kind of paying Peter, what is that, stealing from Paul to pay Peter?
Right.
Peter, Paul. So even if you did take something from like the rainy day fund or any other fund, you're harming the city's budget in the future, because those funds, there's a plan for those funds over the next 10 years.
So, I mean, looking at the stressed utility statute, tonight is the first time I heard where, we're operating in the red. I mean, and we're month to month, and like you said, we could have a huge, a month where we have a ton of rain, and, we're paying $500,000.
Yeah, because Bloomington got 9 inches, 6 to 9 inches overnight the other night. If we have a 6 to 9 inches of rain, our bill will be close to $500,000. Just one bill.
I mean, the way I read the stressed utility statute is we're almost at a stressed utility
Yes.
at this point. So, FYI.
So you're saying you'd be comfortable with the 2-year and renegotiating after 2026 is what you're telling me?
Yes, with a plan to
Yeah.
come back in
So-
July of 2026 to
And-
address 2027.
And I'm okay with that, Council Lamping. One of my intentions was to plan it ahead, so it's done, it's set in stone. We don't have to, the residents can plan accordingly. Something that's hard to do is, we can bring it back up to vote for 2027, 2027, and whatever. What'd you say? 26, 427. Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. But that's up to you all. If you wanted to remove that January 1st, 2028, and just do the first 2 stair step to get us to the point where Jeff Peters suggested we should be, I'm okay with that as well. I think we got to start chipping away. And like I said, it's not an easy decision, but I think that would definitely get us in a much better financial situation.
I think it's only fair to the citizens
I'm
and the
okay with
voting
that.
public not to skirt this through so that
I
it
understand.
needs to be brought up,
Yeah.
as far as the election year.
So I will bring it back up again, probably April of 2027, just to make sure we could get it passed for April 2026, I'm sorry, for April 27, that we don't hit budget time for readings, so.
Okay. Any other questions before I have the clerk treasurer read this into the record?
Yes, I have
Yes,
a
sir.
question or two.
Yes, sir.
How long have you known this is an issue?
I first alerted you guys August of 2024.
Okay. My question is, when is the last Okra grant we got for sewers? And you can have 2 of them at one time. It'd be a dollar amount of 600,000.
So, I'll answer that one if you don't mind, Clerk Treasurer Stratton. So, I reached out to Mike Kleinpeter. He's our consultant for the Okra grants. He's very successful with it. I was speaking with Brad Merriweather, who cannot be here tonight. But we said, okay, let's apply for a stormwater grant. Okay, there's some very large stormwater projects on that list of projects. So I reached out to him. He said, yes, we can do that. However, because you've recently been awarded in the last 3 years, you automatically lose 50 points on your scale, on the grading of that grant application. He says the only way to get that back is have a 100% match. So if you want to apply for $700,000, we have to have $700,000 today to apply for $700,000, and that would cancel out the 50-point deduction and allow us to apply for it. So we don't have $700,000 in sewer operating or the stormwater right now. So we didn't apply this year. So if you get it back up, we can, but unfortunately it's competitive, and they know that all these small cities throughout the state are going to apply for this funding because it makes the dollar go a little bit farther, right? And we can fix these large infrastructure improvements that we need to make. But because of that, they ding you for it. So they give you that 50-point deduction on the local grant. So
When is the last time we've had one?
it was the McFarland Creek, which just finished
We
last
just
year.
finished it, yeah.
McFarland Creek was the stormwater last year, and then the year before was the manhole rehab projects where we did 100 and some manhole rehabilitations throughout the
What
state.
was the dollar amount?
It was, I think, $500,000 or $600,000. Well, for the sewer was $500,000 or $600,000. For the McFarland Creek, it started out a lot higher than what we anticipated, and I think it ended up being $300,000 or so is what we got through Okra with the 20% match.
I think so.
So,
I have the award letter, well, I think.
Thank you.
And
Yes, sir.
I think when Jeff Peters spoke last month, he stated that the increase was to build up a reserve of $1 million. He didn't say it was for actually everyday operating expense.
Well, if
both.
you look through that financial report that he gave you, it kind of spells out where all the money goes to. Because at the end of the day, we should have an operating cash balance. As an asset, we should.
And we
because
have in the
We have, correct. And now it's gone, right? Because
Right.
because the city was, many years ago, we were more in the reactive business first, right? And then we the tide kind of changed a little bit. We started to accrue a little bit of a cash balance. And we did, I think, 3 large sewer projects in the last 4 or 5 years. And we've done that in addition to the small things that happen each and every day. Joe Ramey's here. He can speak to some of the things that happen each and every day. But there's small projects that happen each day. A collapse here or a failure here that might be $10 or $15 or $20,000. And those are the things that we don't plan for. We hope to catch those in large projects. But in order to get to that point, there should be some type of a cash reserve, and there's not right now. So I'm hoping, without any
Well-
planned projects, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I would just question whether or not there's a cash reserve. You got your rainy day fund, you've got other funds.
On the general side, but not
Right,
the sewer side.
I understand
Yeah.
that.
And
but-
I want to, oh, sorry. I just
Go
want to
ahead.
reiterate that, again, with SB1, you're right, we do have a rainy day fund.
Right.
But with SB1, we're thinking if those things don't change, it would be irresponsible, in my opinion. I would feel uncomfortable using the rainy day fund knowing that we're going to lose so much revenue in property taxes.
Well, and I understand what you're saying. I don't want to use the rainy day fund either. But for the past 13 years, I've heard, oh, we're broke. And now, it's been 13 years and we've done one sewer increase.
It was a few.
I think it's at least 2,
I think you
past
did-
13. 2018 and then
I don't
before that.
remember. You and Mary Bucker did the first. Well, no, wait.
Oh, yeah, they changed it from, yeah, this is the very first one, 2012 and 2018, yeah.
Yeah, they got. So I think there were 2, but they were stair stepped on each one. The most recent one ended in 2021. I think there was 2 or 3 steps on that one, I believe. So there hasn't been one since 2021.
Okay. And I'll just tell you, the people that have contacted me, and there's been numerous, not one of them has said, Dan, my sewer bill's too cheap. You want to jack it up a little bit? And
I know. I don't
I'm
blame them.
sure the
Why would
rest
they
of the
want to?
council, has anyone asked any of you for a sewer increase? Every one of them that I've talked to, and most of them have been realistic, but they want you to cut some expenses. And
What expenses would you like to cut from the sewer fund?
there's numerous expenses.
Can you give me some
out there.
examples right now?
Yeah. No, not right off the top of my head. I can get them to you.
I would
But,
appreciate that, please.
Number one, the return on investment and pilot, that is like a piece of stock for every citizen in Beech Grove. Let them get something for it, keep it in the sewer utility, and not raise the rates.
But then you lower the general fund and that budget. So again,
General fund's got $7 million.
it does right now.
The general fund does not.
It has the bank account, excuse me. The
account
general
does.
fund does not. I'm sorry. The bank account has $7 million. But if you take the rainy day fund now, that's a Band-Aid. Like if you did that, that does not help us whatsoever. That will get us to maybe a year if we're lucky, and then we're back at this. And I understand nobody wants rates raised. Everything is raising, everything is expensive. But you're going to get to the point where if you don't raise this, one, I could end the year in the negative, and we have major problems with our 2026 budget because it will not get approved unless there are slashes to major things, or the IURC could take over, which we don't want either of those things because the utility is supposed to make us money. Otherwise, it's not an investment. And I'm concerned out of the expenses that I know come out of the sewer utility, most all of them, I would say there's a few things that we could minimal thousands that we could cut down on. But the majority of things are essential. They are people, they are maintaining the sewer, and they are paying citizens. And I don't want to get to a point where we are cutting people that is something that I will be very vocal about and very disappointed if we get to that point and we have to cut personnel, because we don't have to be in that position.
And I agree. It is an asset, right? It should be treated as such. And
It is an asset as long as we're controlling it.
and as long as we manage it correctly. I think you can control it, but if you lose control because it wasn't managed correctly, that's what I'm concerned about. Because you lose control. AES didn't call Councilman McMillan and say, do you care if we raise your electricity rates? No, they didn't. No one wants to pay higher rates. Yet they just approved another increase, right? So I get it. No one wants to raise rates. I don't want to pay more for my personal sewer or at my business either. But unfortunately, but the services that we get and what is being done to treat that wastewater, I think it just needs to be managed better. And I just think at the end of the day, that's why we're here today. And it's something that we have to continue to stay ahead of to manage it properly. Because again, we know Citizens is going to go up in 26, and 27, and 28, and 29. And it'll be more than triple from. So 97 cents is what they used to charge us. 97 cents per 1,000 units of wastewater. In 2019, it's going to be $3.19 or something. That's insane. Triple. We're not tripling sewer rates. Absolutely not, without a doubt. But you don't raise them, eventually they're going to get that high. So
Right.
that's the scary part for me, is that, unfortunately, no one wants to raise rates, and I agree with you 100%.
Well, I know I got an email today, and I think Chris and Mike did, from Mayor Buckley, and he put in his concern for our senior citizens. And, I think when some of these people are paying, either pay your sewer bill or don't buy medicine or don't buy food,
Yeah.
I don't think it's as easy. I don't think anyone on this council, they can absorb it. But some of these senior citizens cannot. And I think we need to look into the fact that we need to make some adjustments. If it's, dropping $250,000 with Citizens Energy, and don't do anything with them for a year, unless it's a major breakdown, go on a project freeze. When they were wanting to buy the utility, they said our pipes here in Beech Grove were better than any of them in Indianapolis. And so I think we just need to look into it a little further. And, the return on investment or the pilot, keep it in there, and, maybe not go as steep on the increases. 14,000 people cannot support what they're wanting to do. So,
I understand. So just to backtrack, so Mayor Buckley said that it's the senior citizens that we need to worry about. Is that what he said?
that's one of the.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I didn't get that. I wasn't sure. Okay.
Did Mike or any of you
remember
see
seeing
the?
it.
I have not been reached out to, no.
Okay.
Yeah. So and
I
that's the
got
hard
it
part. So
today.
currently the minimum rate right now, basically, because it's a flat rate, is $37.
Right.
Okay. Citizens Energy Group is $47.29.
At minimum.
So right now. So if we were to sell the sewer tomorrow, my guess is the first thing we'll do is everybody gets a flat rate of $47.29 in the city of Beech Grove. Okay. And that's my guess. And go up from there. So I think doing 37 is where it is now, but it should be higher. So going to 46.75, which is kind of halfway point of where Jeff Peters suggested we should be if we wanted to manage our asset appropriately. So I think at that rate, like I said, that's what Citizens Energy Groups charges for all of their utility users for the treatment of their wastewater minimum.
Well, here's the deal too. On the senior citizens, it should be based on usage. Why should one little old lady pay the same as someone that's got 6 people in the household? It's not fair to them. We've done usage before, and we need to look into that. There's another way of.
Yeah, and we can definitely look into that. I'm not opposed to that. That's a big process to do. I'm not sure how that process is going to happen, but my guess is we rely on citizens to provide the usage each month. And then the 2 full-time billing clerks that we have downstairs will have to input all that data across the city. It's going to be a lot more labor-intensive, for sure, because that's what they do with the commercial, right? But I don't know what it would look like when they do residential. from citizens. We'd have to rely on them to do that. But I'm not opposed to looking into that. But in the time being, I think we have to raise the rates, unfortunately. And going to that first step of 46.75, I think it's a good middle ground. And if you want to stop after the next one, I don't blame you as well. But Councilor Ernest, you had something to say,
Yeah,
sir?
I was just going to piggyback off what Dan said. Everyone that's reached out to me, that's like the number one thing they've asked is how come we're not doing this based off usage? I mean, I've heard from a household of 6 or 7 people and a household of 1 person. So, I mean, maybe for everybody at home, we can explain why we're not doing that. I mean, Greenwood does it. But, I mean,
Are they usage?
yeah, oh yeah. So maybe we can
they-
explain why we're
they
not
would
doing
have
that.
the
or-
flat rate, like as I mentioned earlier, just based on those families, okay, and it's based off of usage. So some rates might even go higher than the 46.75, right? Based off of usage, substantially higher. So who do we hit harder? Okay, the retired lady, the older, the elderly lady who has on a fixed income, a family of 5 or 6 or 7 who uses a whole lot of water. So their sewer bill is going to go from 37 up to 100, right? So it's hard. And I think when they did this years ago, my guess was just to make it uniform across the board.
I think it's more like you're paying for what you're using.
Yeah,
though.
for sure.
You know, like if you go to the
But right
grocery
now they're
store,
not.
if
Right
you go
now
to the
they're not.
grocery store, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Little old lady living by herself, she's
sure.
not spending as much as a family of 5, 6, 7 people. Those bills are going to be different, right?
They will, for
So,
sure.
I think that's like what a lot of people at home are seeing. A lot of people are coming to us and saying that's the example they're giving us. So just trying to
Yeah, no, I understand.
facilitate
for sure.
that to them.
But I think either one, right? Either one is not going to be fun for
Somebody,
people
yeah.
in
Well,
the
you
city,
fill up your
right?
gas tank at the gas station.
Correct, but I
Yeah.
mean, I understand the concern and the want to do usage, but just to reiterate, broken record, if you do by usage, that benefits a certain subsection of our population.
Sure.
And it burdens another section. If we do it, raise rates the same across the board, it has the potential to burden certain subsections and benefit certain subsections. So,
I think either way, someone's going to be burdened the way we're going.
correct,
Yeah.
and it's
It
just.
will, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's
I mean-
that's the scary part, right?
It's just a hard decision,
What's the
but a
lesser? Yeah, I
necessary
mean-
one.
Usage was the ones complained about that the most, the ones that had swimming pools in their backyard.
But that's by choice, though, right?
And, but
Exactly.
now what they
Okay.
do is they
5 or 6
call
kids, choices.
Yeah.
citizens and say, "Hey, I just filled
Living
my
by
pool up.
yourself is by choice as well. You know, there's
They fill my
reason.
pool up, they get a credit on it now,
Self-responsibility's
and
gotta
that's
come at
happening.
some
So
point.
Yeah.
that is something that they're able to do.
And
They
they
kinda
used to
bypass
come
that.
Having
in the
a-
clerk
They used to-
treasurer's
correct.
office and
Take
Say,
say,
"Hey, I
$100
got,
in
yeah,"
gas,
and they
that's
have to
it,
prove
you
it,
know.
right?
right,
Yes.
Well, and I also believe there's a flat rate that they charge, of
47.
20, 28,
Yeah.
25 a month.
47,
It's
29.
47.
Okay.
Citizens is 47.29 is what their flat, the minimum charge.
And that's not including the 11.25 per thousand gallon then?
11.25.
Yeah, $11.25 for every 1,000 gallons.
Are you talking about commercial rates?
I'm talking about your general usage rate, your residential rate. So 28.25 a month plus 11.75 per 1,000 gallons. But if we're basing these off of 4,000 gallons, I mean, then we're pushing that up to
Where-
around $44
Where are you
plus
getting-
another
what are you looking
28.
at?
Where are
I'm
you
sorry.
seeing
What are you
11?
getting
I'm
these
sorry.
numbers from?
Google it.
For like,
Google?
are you talking
Okay.
about citizens? Like they're, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, citizens.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought you were
okay,
talking about
from
Lebanon.
Google.
Yeah, no, I'm,
Okay.
you know, I mean,
Okay.
if we want to know anything, all we have to do is Google things. I mean, it tells us pretty much what we need to know here. But, I think a lot of people fail to realize how much water they actually use, in a month's time. I mean, one individual, if you take 6 showers a week, you're over 200 gallons a week just by yourself. If there's 2 people in your household, now you're over 400 in 1 week, and now times 4.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to figure out that's just in a shower. That is not drinking water, flushing the toilet, doing laundry, watering the lawn, watering your plants. I mean, there's a lot of water that people use. If we're doing it basically just off of this 4,000, I think we'd be shocked that there's a lot of us, even though if there's only 2 of you in a household, you're probably going to be over the 4,000. And I think that's something that we're all getting kind of tied up on, that by usage, but I think a lot of us would be really shocked that at the end of the day, we look at our bill on usage and go, oh man, we're getting hit a lot harder than what we thought we was ever getting hit before,
Mm-hmm.
so.
I agree. But there's still that flat rate, right? So even if you don't do those 4,000, you get
Exactly.
charged $47.29 from Citizens, and that's it, right? You don't get less than that. That's the that's the minimum, right? So some people get charged more. Like I said, like there's a family in Franklin Township, family of 3, $77 based off usage.
Right.
Family of 2 in Decatur, $63. Right? Yeah, I agree. It's hard. Either way, right? Either way, we're going to have people that's going to have higher bills. Some people go down. But at the end of the day,
And I live here as well. I don't like it either. You know, there's only 2 of us in the household, but, you know, I also do, you know, probably 6, 7 loads of laundry every week. I take a shower every day. My wife takes a shower every day. I water my garden, you know. I sometimes water the yard, you know. I use the bathroom. So I understand that, you know, these, you know, I use a lot of
about
water.
your day,
you know,
Ryan. What else do you do every day, sir? What else you got going on?
So, I mean, everybody, I think, just needs to, if we was to average these
Brush your
up,
teeth.
you get on Google and you just ask, you know, hey, what's an average of what a person uses, and then you can add it all up yourself. And I think everybody here, I was kind of surprised. So,
yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
So I was talking to a resident today, and I'm not sure, I think Marion County has something, but could we consider, I don't think it'd be in this ordinance, but could we consider doing some residential breaks for doing stormwater management projects, like rain gardens? I have a rain barrel that I use for outdoor watering. So things like that, because we talk a lot about these heavy rain events, and that would benefit, that extra flow that makes it into the, so why don't we push a little bit more for some of these areas that we have, that we could do some rain gardens, we could do some management of just the environment, just the landscape to capture some of this water.
I'm not opposed to that. I'm
I
sure there's
think that would be
programs out there.
A great thing for the city as a whole to kind of try
Yeah.
to educate and push and.
Yeah, if you know where other municipalities that do that
Yeah.
or other programs that are in
Yeah.
place, and you'd like to share that, I'd be happy. I don't think it's a bad idea. If we can be better stewards of our environment and encourage our residents to be better about what hits their property, whether it be rain gardens or
Rain barrel, you could get a little bit of a break.
Yeah,
You could get a little bit for capturing that water.
yeah, I'm not opposed to that.
On the
So,
conservative side of things, and if usage, wouldn't that, if, say, a family of 5, if they see their bills getting way out of hand, hey, what's going on here? Wouldn't that maybe cause concern for them to watch their consumption, how much they're using then, and maybe they
well,
cut back?
my guess is they see it on their water bill.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
it
I
wouldn't cause
thought you
them
talked.
to-
Okay.
Wouldn't cause some alarm in them to say, hey, don't be leaving the sink, the way
Yeah.
you're brushing your teeth
Yeah.
or whatever, the circumstance may be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we need to cut back.
My dad told me I had a 5-minute shower for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. It was cold.
Yeah, but at the end of the
There was
day,
4 of us. There was
Yeah.
4 of us.
if you have
Yeah.
a 5-person
Yeah.
family, there's not a lot you can,
So
you have a
I'm
lot
just
of
saying,
laundry,
I
no
mean,
matter what.
The whole
some things you
conservative
can-
side of things, so, you know, save water, I agree with, you know, the rain barrel things are terrific. But if somebody sees their water bills getting way out of hand, their usage, they're gonna start asking somebody around the house what's going on. I'd like to think anyway.
I would like to think, but you never know. Kids are
deep
crazy.
pockets and, you know, don't mind paying it. If that's the fact, well, then they keep feeding citizens, I guess, you know, so.
You should shut the hot water off on my boy.
I don't blame you. My son takes the longest shower, and it's so hot.
Yeah.
It's insane. I'm like, Alex, get out of there. But any other questions, or you want? We can move on to let the clerk treasurer read it into the record, and then continue the discussion from there. But I think the agreement is to remove 2028 on there, right? Is that what we would like to do before we read in the record?
That's
or?
what I'm making, I would like to make that,
And I
present
second
that to the
that.
council.
Let me read
So
it first
we can
before I
read
make
it
any
first, and then we can. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on, I'm on the wrong tab.
So
Okay.
General ordinance number 3, clerk treasurer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other pages? Okay. General Ordinance Number 3, 2025 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove pursuant to fees charged to Beech Grove Sewage Works customers for the treatment of wastewater. Whereas the City of Beech Grove, Indiana operates and maintains a wastewater collection system that delivers wastewater to Citizens Energy Group, and whereas the City of Beech Grove sanitary sewer system consists of 40 miles of pipe and a collection system, which includes over 500 manholes, and whereas the Board of Public Works and Safety has entered into an agreement with Citizens Energy Group through 2029 for the treatment of wastewater generated by Beech Grove Sewage Works customers, whereas after study and review, the Common Council has concluded that a phased rate increase is necessary and in the best interest of the public to ensure the financial sustainability of the sewage utility. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council for the City of Beech Grove desires to amend Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove concerning fees for the treatment of wastewater. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires the following amendments be inserted in Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Amend Section 50:31, subsection A and C. Amend Section 50:32, subsection A. 50:31, calculation of sewer use charge. A, Citizens Energy Group and the City of Beech Grove's Public Works and Safety have entered into an agreement for the treatment of wastewater generated by customers of the Beech Grove Sewage Works Utility. Such agreement was approved by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, and the set rates for the treatment of wastewater based on per 1,000 gallons of wastewater. The current rate effective in 2025 is $2.48 per unit of wastewater, with the cap placed at $3.25 per unit effective January 1st, 2029. The Common Council shall adjust the fees charged to the customers of the Beech Grove Sewage Works Utility for the treatment of wastewater as approved by the IURC. Such fees shall also be adjusted as often as necessary to provide for and maintain the sewage works utility. B, for the use of the services rendered by the sewage works, rates and charges shall be collected from the owners and/or residents and tenants of each and every lot, parcel, or real estate, dwelling unit, or building that is connected to the city's sanitary sewer system or otherwise discharges sewage, industrial waste, water, or other liquids, either directly or indirectly, into the sanitary sewer system of the City of Beech Grove. Such rates and charges include operation and maintenance, user charges, debt service cost, excessive strength surcharges, and other service charges, which rates and charges of which shall be payable as hereinafter provided and shall be in an amount determinable as follows. C, for all user classes except residential users, the charges to treat wastewater shall be based on the quantity of water used on or in the property premises, subject to rates and charges as the same measured by the water meter there in use, except as herein otherwise provided. For billing and collecting the charges for sewage services, the water meters shall be read in accordance with the operating practice of Citizen Energy Group or other water suppliers. All users shall be filled monthly or a period equaling a month. The water usage schedule on which the amount of said rates and charges shall be determined as follows. Residential users, flat rate, single and double family dwellings, effective upon passage, $46.75. Effective September 1st, 2026, $56.75. Effective January 1st, 2028, $62.75. D, in order to recover the cost of monitoring commercial, institutional, and industrial waste, the district shall charge the user the actual cost of sampling and analysis. 5032, minimum charge, base level, basis of rates. A, the minimum charge on any monthly billing for a non-residential apartment user shall be as follows. Less than an inch upon passage, 5565. September 1st, 2026, $67.34. January 1st, 2028, $74.74. 1 inch upon passage, $65.92. September 1st, 2026, $79.76. January 1st, 2028, $88.52. 1 1/4 inch upon passage, $124.26. September 1st, of 2026 be $150.36, and January 1st, 2028 is $166.88. 1.5 inches upon passage, $168.10. September 1st, 2026, $203.40, and January 1st, 2028, $225.78. 2 inches upon passage, $255.68. September 1st, 2026, $309.38, and January 1st, 2028, $343.40. 3 inches upon passage, $430.90. September 1st, 2026, $521.38. January 1st, 2028, $578.74. 4 inches upon passage, $746.88. September 1st, 2026, $903.72. And January 1st, 2028, $1,003.12. 6 inches upon passage, $1,244.64. September 1st, 2026, $1,506, and January 1st, 2028, $1,671.66. The flow rate upon passage will be $4.95. September 1st, 2026, $5.98, and January 1st, 2028, $6.62. B, all users' rates and charges shall be based on the quantity of water used on or delivered to the property or premises subject to such rates and charges, as the same is measured by the water meters in use and the strength of the waste where applicable, except hereinafter provided. C, in addition to all other charges for treatment of wastewater to an individual user, there is an imposed service charge of $8.75 cents per month for all other users. The minimum charge is set out in Chapter 5032, Divisions A and B. Above shall include such service charge. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend the fees charged to customers of the Beech Grove Sewage Works utility for the treatment of wastewater. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to the adjustment of wastewater fees passed on to the customers at the Beech Grove Sewage Works utility and no other fees. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect pursuant to the first billing cycle beginning directly after passage by the Common Council, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the Mayor.
Thank
Can you
Clerk.
explain C to me, in addition to all other charges for treatment of wastewater? I apologize, what does that pertain to exactly?
So that is for all other commercial accounts.
Okay.
So currently it's, what's it
It's
current?
710, I think.
710 is the current account charged to all commercial accounts.
Commercial, okay.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a confusing sentence.
Okay.
That's also been passed in the past, so passed
Okay.
and
Okay.
before. So General Ordinance number 3, 2025 is up for first reading this evening.
I'd like to make a change that we end this raise at 2026 for effective September, and then we eliminate past September 2026.
For
Okay.
both commercial and residential.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. There's a motion to amend General Ordinance number 3, 2025, taking out the third rate increase that would take place in 2028.
I second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Thank you. So it passes 6-1. Correct. Thank you, councilors. All right, that being said, General Ordinance number 3, 2025 is up for first reading this, as amended this evening.
With the amendment.
Motion to approve.
I'll make said motion to approve General Ordinance number 3, 2025 with changes as requested, taking out the 2028, going up to effective September 1, 2026.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Who is a no vote?
No vote.
Council Himmelgarn
And McMillan.
Council McMillan? Did you say no?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I want to make sure. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Okay.
as written, no.
As amended, or
We're doing it as
Well,
amended.
I want to see some cuts in there and it not put on the entire citizens of Beech Grove.
fair enough. So, General Ordinance number 3, 2025 is passed on first reading as amended by a vote of 5-2. We can hear this on. Would you prefer second and third reading in August?
I'm fine with that,
Thank
yeah.
Up next is General Ordinance number 4, 2025, and this is regard to the stormwater rate that is currently charged for the city of Beech Grove. I'll defer to the clerk treasurer to read that into the record.
General Ordinance Number 4, 2025 is an ordinance that amends Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances pursuant to stormwater fees established for the City of Beech Grove. Whereas the City of Beech Grove established stormwater fees on August 1st, 2014, and issued step increases that continued through 2018, and issued a cap of $375 in 2018. Whereas the Common Council mandated that funds collected be used to correct drainage problems and other tasks associated with drainage and stormwater matters without the issuance of debt, and whereas residents are now witnessing drain corrections in our city, and these fees ensure that future drainage corrections will continue to be made, and whereas our DPW director is mandated to file an annual MS4 report on our diligence towards addressing drainage matters with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, now therefore be affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend the cap on the fees collected pursuant to our stormwater utility. Now therefore be it further affirmed that the Common Council desires that the following amendment be inserted in Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove. Delete in its entirety Section 5202, Stormwater User Fees. A, calculation of stormwater fees. The fee per one equivalent residential user shall be $3.75. Replaced with the following, Section 5202, Stormwater Fees. A, calculation of stormwater fees. The fee per one equivalent residential user shall be $5.25. Now therefore be it affirmed that the Common Council desires to amend the cap on the fee charged pursuant to the collection of stormwater fees. Now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance only applies to Chapter 50 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Beech Grove and no other chapter. And now therefore be it further affirmed that this ordinance shall go into effect pursuant to the first billing cycle beginning directly after passage by the Common Council, attested by the Clerk Treasurer, and signed by the mayor.
Thank you. Boston.
Yeah.
Signed by the mayor. So this is response to Jeff Peters provided the financial status of the stormwater utility as well last month, and the average for the state is $5.25. So that's where that number was calculated from. So open for discussion.
Got a question?
Yes, sir.
How much did Jeff Peters charge the city for this?
I don't know if we've gotten the invoice for that.
I
yet.
don't think we have yet. I can look, but it'll take me. a
I
minute.
mean, this is common knowledge. You can go to the internet and see what Brownsburg's paying or, you know, whatever. This is what I'm talking about when I say cost to the utility.
Yeah.
There's cost in there that, you know,
There
I
is-
think we could do differently.
There's, that invoice is not just that graph that you have, so that included the stormwater and the sewage. And I, for one, we have to have a financial consultant. Every city has a financial consultant. So you either, one, I would quit if you got rid of Jeff, honestly. Can't do that, cannot financially forecast. I can do other
I didn't
things.
say get rid of Jeff, but I said on stormwater, which is, you know, $5 or $6, for him to say, oh yeah, we need to charge more. I know he charges
So-
like $2.60 an hour.
So as he mentioned last month, he said he didn't do a full rate study. He can. He had this data in that graph for municipalities across the state. He didn't do an all-out, full, in-depth rate study on the utility. He did
I'd
not.
still be interested in
Okay.
seeing how much
Yeah.
he charges for
Yeah.
that, how much he charges to come to a meeting.
So that's just for your information. If you don't want him to, I think it's important that he comes and shares the financial status with you guys. You guys are the one who are approving our budgets and our salaries. So
Well,
for him to
could-
come,
He could write us a letter, put it in the packet, and say, this is what I recommend, this, you know.
he's
He
been
would
coming
still
for years, long
charge.
before I was clerk treasurer, before you were clerk treasurer. He came during, was he here for you, Council Duffer? Yes. So
Yes.
he came for you as well, Councilor McMillan.
I
When
think
you were
he's
clerk
been here
treasurer for
since
8 years.
2000, actually.
For
But
me,
we didn't
so-
have these issues back then. We didn't have a shortfall.
We-
We need to watch every penny that we
He-
spend.
Correct, and he did rate studies for every other increase as well. I know he did in 2021. Jeff Peters did.
And I'm
Fair
not
enough.
just picking on Jeff. I'm saying throughout the utility.
Before next meeting, and if I could request within the next 10 days, so I have time to like look things over and provide more answers, I would like Councilor McMillan and anybody else, if you have any questions about what's been out of the utility, please ask them. If you have, what's the word? I'm losing my train of thought. If you have recommendations on what you would like to see cut, I can even give you a different month, what we pay out of. But I would recommend to do that in the next 10 days. So if you have any questions, I have time to get it to you for August 4th.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
But I know when we went to sell the utility the last time, there was a gentleman from Westfield that we paid, I think it was $100,000 to go
Con.
through that program. And I just think that we need to, you know, see where every
No, I
penny's
understand.
going.
Fair enough. I appreciate that.
So just so everyone watching will understand, so the stormwater fees, that's in addition to the ordinance that we're talking about for the utilities. So that's gonna be an additional $1.50 a month on the bill that you get from the city.
Correct.
Okay, so just
So
so
I think-
everyone understands.
Yeah, so I think the final bill, at the rate, the sewer rate and this, if this is approved, I think the final sewer bill will be $74 after, that first initial step.
With trash.
That's trash.
With trash.
With trash, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
That
trash,
includes
stormwater,
Trash is
and
included,
wastewater.
but trash is not going up.
That trash is, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Jeff Peters,
Okay.
based off his assumptions, he says that is at an okay rate.
All the more reason why we need to look at this. We don't need to give that stepping up. We need to look at this at more frequently to
Mm-hmm. for
see
sure.
where we are with the usage and how the money.
Absolutely, and I think that's part of managing it better, right, Councilor
Yep,
Lambert? I think that's
yep.
something that we'll have to do, is continue to.
That's being
to look at it.
fiscally conservative,
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
about recyclables? That's something we haven't brought up that's free to the citizens, but cost the city.
Did you watch the Board of Works meeting this evening?
No, I did not.
So we actually went out to bid. Okay, we had 4 vendors pick up a bid packet. We are working on a 10-year contract that started out with Rays when this program was implemented. Rays was purchased by Waste Management a couple years ago. I don't have to tell anybody here in this room or watching that it's been a rough year and a half since Waste Management took over that contract from Ray's. We're getting better, but there's still a lot of issues there. So we put a bid out for proposals as that contract will end in August of this year. We opened up bids this evening. We received one bid, and that was from Waste Management.
Wow.
So currently, we do biweekly pickup, and they charge based off of tonnage, and a per tote charge of, I think it was it 29 cents a tote or something a month, something very minimal, right? And that pays for the totes over the 10 years. So I haven't read through the proposal yet, but I kind of got a summary of it. They want to raise that. They don't want to do weekly. We suggested going to a weekly pickup just to align with our regular trash pickup to avoid confusion. That way people bring it out each and every week and they just pick it up weekly, right? They said no. They want to keep it at biweekly. They said they want to raise their offer, or their bid is $14.99 per household. Per household. Which is crazy. So they want to get rid of the tonnage and charge per tote that is picked up by the city of Beech Grove. So I don't know what's going to happen, but my guess is we might not be providing recycling services. Yeah. These rates right now are based on those current. I mean, it does cost some money for the recycling, but at the end of the day, I think it's a positive thing for the city. Our residents enjoy it. I think we should be good stewards of our environment, right? And recycle as much as we can. And that's what we've done. And I applaud the city and Mayor Buckley for implementing that in the council 10 years ago. But at $14.99 in addition to what we're paying for trash pickup now, I guess I don't know how to proceed with that. But I'm going to talk to Brad when he gets back. And it's a lot of money.
It's like
and we only had one bid.
The recycling trucks they did the same dump site.
They do, which is.
And I've been told that a lot of times they just pretty much dump it.
So there's kind of a misconception there, right? So I'm not an expert on recycling or trash waste or disposal of anything, okay? So, but it's my understanding that the city of Beech Grove, we take all of our trash pickup to Covanta. It's sorted, and most of it is burned and turned into steam energy. Okay, so reduce, reuse, recycle. Right? It's turned into steam energy. Our guys will pull in. Who pulls behind? Waste Management, the same way. And they go there and they dump our recyclables or their recyclables. They see Waste Management coming there every day. Our guys have said that. So at the end of the day, I think we're recycling everything, right? I think when our trash goes to the trash tote, it's being converted into clean energy.
Okay.
But again, I can't confirm or deny that. That's just what I'm told by our guys who go out there each and every day. And Joe might be able to confirm that. So Joe Ramey's here. He's our sewer stormwater supervisor, and he can confirm that, right?
Yeah, I've done every job over that.
You have, yeah.
For a while. They same trucks that pick them up, every house they're pulling in there and dumping them in the trash or the landfill or Covanta's closed.
So yeah, we'll see. But
Could our
you brought that
guys
up.
handle the tonnage for recyclables?
I mean, I think so. I mean, can our guys handle that additional tonnage each day? It's going to be hard, but I don't know if we have any other.
Alternatives to go to, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what our other answer would be. I would say hopefully. They
Right.
did before.
I was gonna say they used to.
So
Yeah.
it'll be hard. It'll be harder on the guys in the trucks, but I think that's something that they're managing and they're accepting. They'll do because that's what they do, right? Our guys, I mean, they're second to none. I don't need to. I mean, you all know that. You've seen the services they provide, so they'd happily do it, right? It'd be harder on them, but I think they would do it and do a great job at it.
Any idea why the other three companies didn't bid?
One was another one. They responded and said that they don't see it as a fruitful account for them, based on I think most of these companies, I think when they first came out and they talked, we had a pre-bid meeting last week. One of them, he said, "Any interest in letting us do the regular trash pickup too?" And I said, "No, absolutely not. That is not up for bid tonight. No, we are not outsourcing our trash pickup. But thank you." So they never submitted a bid. So my guess is that's probably why. I think they would like to have both aspects, trash and recycling. That way they can charge more and they can make more money off of that.
Are you at liberty to say who didn't return any bids?
It's classified.
Yeah, no. Republic was
Don't get the mayo
one.
in trouble.
There were 4 companies that that picked up a bid packet. Republic was one. I can tell you that. So Republic, they said no. They said the consistent decreasing in tonnage made it difficult to recover enough revenue to help cover the cost of running 3 routes in the city. Their cost would be significantly higher than the rate that was proposed or approved 10 years ago with Ray's. Uncertainty in cart capital needs over 10 years. Uncertainty on contamination rates. So they would be happy to look at the opportunity on a monthly per home cost basis if you find that responses don't fit your needs. So that was Republic, and the other one was, I can't remember who the other one was. I'm sorry. GFL Environmental. They did not submit a bid. They were interested in taking over all of the trash routes, and then Priority Waste. So those are the main names you see out there: Priority Waste Management and Republic. Those are the main guys, the main vendors out there. That 4th one was out of Terre Haute, I believe, but only one person submitted a bid tonight. So got off on a tangent there. So that's where the current state of the recycling. So stay tuned for that. So.
Excuse me.
So anything else about General Ordinance number 4, 2025? If not, entertain a motion to approve General Ordinance number 4, 2025 on first reading only.
I'll make said motion to approve it on first reading only.
I second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Passes vote of 7-0. Thank you. That is all we have on the agenda this evening.
So will that one be heard second and third next time?
Correct, I'm sorry, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Second and third on August 4, 2025.
Jim, I do have
yes.
one question. Is there any chance they can put that back on property taxes, stormwater? That's where it came from?
I think because they removed us, so that's when we formed
I
our.
think we removed ourselves.
Oh, did we? Okay. Why would you like to do that? Just out of curiosity. What would be the benefit of getting?
I think it would soften the blow of
Okay.
what the citizens are paying.
I got you. Okay. So but then I think there are issues about getting those funds, weren't they, or getting it allocated to our utility or no?
Now that I'm not sure.
I think I just heard grumblings of that, but I don't know. But my guess is they can probably do that. There's probably going to be a fee, right? And it's going to be some type of, I don't know. I'd have to find out for that too.
I mean, it wouldn't happen immediately if they could even do it.
For sure. Okay. That being said, council comments. Council Ernest.
Happy 4th of July, everybody, and thank you to our police officers, EMS, and city employees for everything you do for our great city.
Hello, everyone. I am getting ready for a town hall meeting. I'm speaking with Tiffany for District 4, and I'm welcoming anyone that would like to come. I would like to speak to my the people I'm representing to make sure that I am caring for their needs. So if you're out there and you're interested, please come. And again, as Mike said, happy 4th.
Can I come?
Absolutely.
I'm there.
Yes, everyone have a great 4th of July weekend. Hope to see you down there at the park watching the fireworks. Be safe, and thank you to all our.
There's a lot of vendors this year, too.
EMS. Yeah, it should be a great time as usual.
Welcome to our new officer that we met this evening.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Everybody, be safe this upcoming weekend. Would like to announce Kenny Ray Mackins. He was born and raised in Beech Grove, graduated 1968 from Beech Grove High School, a member of Rotary Club, Masonic Lodge. Had a painting business in the city for 30 years, actually for 2 decades. Did the interior, exterior of this building many times. I know because I was here a lot of times doing it. passed away this past Wednesday. I just wanted to let everybody know in the city, there will be a celebration of life, 26th of July at 524 Events, if you'd like to come out, pay your respects. Thank you all.
My apologies for
Thank
your
you.
loss.
As always, thanks the officers for all your efforts in keeping our city safe. Just a shout out to a new business on Main Street, Beech Grove, 403 Main Street. Pronto Taco is now all open. They are serving the best street tacos, I guarantee you, the best street tacos. Lunch from 11 to 2 and dinner from 5 to 8. So everyone, please take your time maybe to go purchase some walk-in street tacos. They'll get them ready and out the door in minutes. Thank you. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July and be careful out there.
Happy 3rd and 4th of July. Thank you to the officers for keeping us safe, and welcome to the new officer that we swore in tonight. And like to see if perhaps Jim, I know you're busy, but if you could look into what it would take to get our sewer rates on a usage fee and what that might look like, I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
Please
Yeah.
and thank you.
Yeah, I'm not going to guarantee by August 4th, though.
No.
Okay, thank you. Yes, no, that is fine. we'd be happy to look
Just
into that.
something we can get back to
Yeah,
the people.
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't
that's-
mind that. That's fair. Yeah.
That's like I said, going back to what I was saying, that's like the number one thing they're asking about.
Yeah, because it's
So-
going to rely on Ruth downstairs, our main billing clerk, to get some information from citizens and
'cause-
figure out
And do the math on, we can pick
how that
random
works.
citizens,
Correct,
honestly.
Correct. Yeah,
So-
I don't mind that. Yes, sir. Thank you.
I'll do some research as well to see if we can
Okay,
have
on
some
the
things,
stormwater.
some
Thank you.
incentives.
Yeah, thank you. Again, a couple of things. So July 3rd, see y'all in the park on July 3rd. The annual Beach Grove Promoters Club fireworks celebration, All American Day in the park takes place. So thank you to the volunteers and the groups and all the departments and city employees who will make that event go off without any issues. So I look forward to that. In addition, not only are there tacos on Main Street, there's also ice cream shop on Main Street now as well. So be sure to hit up Main Street sometime during the summer and get some tacos and some ice cream. So our next city council meeting will take place on Monday, August 4th, 2025, 7 p.m. here at City Hall. One last update, state legislature change. So there's some updates on information that goes out to the public. So if you saw the new updated agenda, that's listed for the council meeting. It lists all the elected officials, the terms. That was a requirement from the state legislator. Okay, all the posting of minutes, they all have to be advertised this way. In addition, the meetings have to be live streamed on YouTube now. Correct?
Yeah.
Clerk Treasurer Stratton. So that all took place today, July 1st. So that's why you see that nice update. At the end of the day, I think it looks nice. It looks
Yeah.
professional and clean. So
I like it.
a nice
It looks
fire.
great.
So that's what that's. Motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah. Motion.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned at 9:02. Thank you, council members.
Hey, you got